serious? What secret could destroy your life if it got out? To all the gay people in this thread, it really does get better. 17 years ago, I could have posted that the secret that could destroy my life was that I was a lesbian. I was 100% sure I'd kill myself if anyone ever found out. I was 100% sure that my parents would be completely destroyed and that my relationship with my parents would be ended. 17 years later, I'm out to everyone I know and getting married later this year. My life remains undestroyed. Every single day I think about killing myself. How great it would be. All my problems gone in an instant. Now, I am in therapy for depression, but I don't share those thoughts for fear of being institutionalized, even briefly as a danger to myself. I don't think I'm a danger to myself. I've had those thoughts for quite a while without swallowing pills or a shotgun, so no more throwaway here. I see a lot of suicidal and incest posts, so mine is probably pale in comparison and will stay at the bottom. Anyway, I almost killed my sister years ago. She was about 3 and I was maybe 9-11 years old. I carried her to the terrace, 5 stories high including the ground floor, and like some dumb duck, I placed her at the edge of the terrace, above a barricade of sorts. There was nothing to protect her from falling, and directly below, 5 stories down, is a cemented path. I don't remember what was so important I had to do that I left her dangling there, at death's edge. All I remember is, she was starting to sway backwards, towards the ground. Alarm bells started ringing in my head, so I ran and somehow managed to grab onto her just as she was about to fall. I felt my heart racing against my chest. I hugged her for a really long time, too afraid to let go. To this day, I haven't told her. She's 25 now, nor my mom. Even typing this still makes me nervous. That height. How a baby's body would have ended up splattered all over the hard cemented pathway. How I could be institutionalized. How my family would have disowned me. How I would have missed watching her grow up. Still haunts me. It developed an irrational fear in me of carrying babies around, even if I'm not the one carrying them, or even if there is no height involved. Edit. Thanks for all the awesome responses, guys. And yes, I will definitely tell her this one day, just not yet. Still can't see how we'll be able to laugh about it though. Still gives me the chills. The creepy kind. I can't stop myself from lying. Half the time I'll lie about things that don't matter and should have just told the truth for, but I can't stop myself from doing it. All the lies I've told, big and small, all catch up to at one point or another and are seriously damaging my life. My parents and brother don't trust me at all anymore because I've done some incredibly stupid things and lied about them. I've also had to do things or tell bigger lies to cover what started out as a little white lie. Other people around me that have caught me in a lie don't know how to act around me anymore. I know I need to stop and I am trying, but the more I try to stop doing it, the more I do it. This is slowly destroying my life and my relationship with my family, and there is nothing I can about it. Been banging the babysitter for years. This should be posted again. Just cause. Depression hotline. 1-630-482-9696. Suicide hotline. 1-800-784-8433. Lifeline. 1-800-273-8255. Trevor Project. 1-866-488-7386. Sexuality support. 1-800-246-7743. Eating disorders hotline. 1-847-831-3438. Rape and sexual assault. 1-800-656-4673. Grief support. 1-650-321-5272. Runaway. 1-800-843-5200. 1-800-843-5678. 1-800-621-4000. Exhale. After abortion hotline pro voice. 1-866-439-4253. Call if you need them, please. Well damn. Now that some dude bangs his dog, I don't feel so bad about me and my cousin knocking boots every time we're in town together. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I hit a smallish lottery, few mil, a little while back and told absolutely no one, family and friends included. I took a bunch of steps to secure my kids' futures and we live a very comfortable but not lavish life. I'm pretty generous with the people around me. I think that they just think I'm doing very well career-wise, or something illegal under the table. I justify it by thinking that if this was general knowledge amongst friends and family it would ruin relationships. My priority needed to be my kids. My twin sister and I love each other. We love each other more than siblings should. I'm sure the incest would disgust a lot of people, and that alone would ruin a lot of relationships. Our parents and grandparents would probably disown and disinherit us. Other family would probably break off contact, and we'd lose a good chunk of our friends. I imagine news would spread like wildfire amongst our social circle. Our older sister might be the only person in our family who wouldn't outright condemn us, and I'm not even too sure about that. Sometimes we think about running away to Europe or something, so we can start new lives with fake identities. Edit. Since so many people are asking, we're fraternal twins, and I'm a male. I have not paid income taxes in a decade. I don't get any withholding. I don't know how it got away from me like that. At this point I'm afraid to ask how I really feel about myself. It would lead to both people being driven away from me and people empathizing for me. I would hate the people who stayed with me, probably yell at them, drive them away. Then I would be alone and have nothing to live for. So, for now, I put on my facade and move on. The fact that my brother, my father, and I know that my mom has been cheating on my dad for the past 3 years. It's a complicated situation. I am emotionally numb. I always have to fake being happy or excited about things. I guess it kind of sucks because I'm not happy or unhappy, and the only time I'm considerate is when I'm doing something because I know something bad will happen and not because of guilt or a negative emotion of any kind. I sometimes wonder why I exist, but I don't delve too deeply because I just don't care. Whoa, I didn't expect this comment to explode like this. I hope everyone understands that I can't possibly go through all of the replies because it would take hours. I'm glad that a lot of people understand how I feel though. Also thanks for all of the support everyone. Throwaway for great reason. When I was about 9, my oldest sister died, age 32, and her 2 kids came to live with us. I'm a surprise child, so all of my siblings are much older than me. My nephew and I shared a room. He was just a year younger than me, and around when I was 11 and he was 10, we started doing sexual things. Over the years, we started out dry humping with clothes on, then clothes off. Then eventually I started performing oral on him. Around age 13 or 14 we started doing anal. I was always the bottom, nearly every night. When I went away for college at 18, we never did it again and haven't spoken of it since. In fact, I don't remember ever talking about it. One of us would just give our gesture to the other that we wanted to duck and went at it. I'm 21 now and I'm in the process of coming out as gay. He identifies as straight and is in a relationship, but I wonder all the time if it's just for a cover up. Anyways, we're the only 2 that know about it and I wouldn't dare tell anyone. Not even my closest, most trustworthy, best friend. Sometimes I fear he might tell someone one day. Edit. Wow. Didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. I have a cross-dressing fetish, but I'm completely straight. I have an incredibly supportive girlfriend who knows, but I don't think I could ever handle telling anyone else. And Lord only knows what would happen my small social life. Every single day I fantasize about getting on a plane, going far away, and starting over. I'm just too afraid to do it. How much I don't care about a lot of people in my life that like me. Co-workers, friends, family. There are a ton of them I just don't care for really, and I'm just civil with them for convenience. Some of them have done pretty nice things for me, and I am thankful. But there are still some I just don't really like that much. I used to not be like this. I used to try and maintain all the relationships. Now many old friends, people that live far away, I don't even make an effort. And I wonder if I ever cared at all. The weirdest part is in social situations. I'm really good at being friendly and feigning interest in people's life. I've been complimented on being a nice and genuine guy, but there's this resentment I have for many people in my life that I keep hidden. The only people I really care for are a few close friends, my immediate family, and my girlfriend. Other than that, I'd rather just be alone. That I enjoy peeing in the sink when I'm home alone because it feels sort of taboo. That I love a 44-year-old pedophile. Just how much older than me he was. I'm 18. Could ruin my life a bit. But I don't hate him for what he did. I wish he would have never done it. But I can't even be mad at him. I'm selfish and miss him and would have done anything to protect him if he hadn't ended his life. This one really would destroy my life. I have suicidal ideation fairly frequently. I'm terrified of death and would never actually kill myself. But I fantasize about killing myself a lot, especially when I'm stressed or tired or PMSing. I've mentally composed more suicide notes than I can possibly imagine. If I ever tell a doctor about it, my life as a free unmedicated woman is over. I'm terrified of mental hospitals and of psychiatric medication. I never told anyone about how I feel. A doctor would instantly confine me to a mental hospital, and a friend or family member would either panic or just think I'm some sort of drama queen. I have a disability. The internet doesn't know that I'm disabled. I am a developer, followed by up to 500 people on Twitter, and nobody ever saw me or listened my voice. I don't want to reveal that because I'm scared it would destroy my reputation. I know, I'm too much negative and I should relax and simply come out. The problem is that, in real life, I am really disadvantaged by my disability. Sorry if my English is a bit wobbly. I'm not a native speaker. A really good lifelong buddy of mine dropped out of college after 9/11 and joined the army. He completed 3 tours in Iraq, got married, had a kid. All was great for him. His mom was the type that was close to his friends because they reminded her of him while he was away. So us guys would take her out and keep her company, as a group. One day she called me up and asked to go out and have a drink. She found some pictures or whatever of her son and I from childhood and she couldn't wait to share. We meet up at a local watering hole for a couple drinks and a few laughs. She kept feeding me drinks, and before I could say that it was time for me to head out, she had her hands on me and was very forward. I admit it wasn't a decision that I was capable of making at that time, so I went with what felt good. We went back to my house and had some of the craziest eye-popping tantric, drunk, sex. My buddy died in Iraq a few months later and I am a horrible person. Edit. Spelling. My first girlfriend was really the love of my life. She was the only person that was ever able to finish my sentences, and we bonded over sort of a mutual disdain for the world we lived in. I knew her psyche was fragile and I literally gave her a reason to live while she was institutionalized. We broke up and she committed suicide. Or at least that's what I tell people. In reality, I cheated on her and she destroyed herself. She burnt holes through her skin hundreds of times, sliced dozens of cuts through her body and face, and threw herself off a bridge. I can't even imagine what someone will think if I ever said those things. I've only told a couple people that it even happened. But as far as the details, I probably should do so, but I just can't face that. I've said racist things to my friends before jokingly, but if some of them were ever caught on tape I would be in some deep pit. I lied about being infertile. I got off to guys ducking me and in turn the risk of getting pregnant. Is that even what you would call a fetish? I actively lied to partners because I wanted the forbidden thrill of doing something I am not supposed to do. You would never know it by how I am though. It haunts me. It would ruin my family. Edit. I forgot to mention I had a miracle baby. Here we go. As a kid, probably around 12, I'm in my 20s now, a friend of mine and I started doing sexual things. We are the Summer Six and we did everything. I put my D in his butt, in his mouth. He put his D in my mouth, in my butt. We did it as much as possible for several years. Eventually we just stopped. We're still friends to this day and never talk about it. Because of this, I think I have a problem with all relationships. I'm currently married, but before I got married I was having an inappropriate relationship with a coworker. This relationship continued after I was married until she told me she was pregnant. She's married. She told me the baby wasn't mine but it was born about 9 months after we last had relations. I haven't told my wife and I think about it every day if the kid is mine and 15 years down the line she popped up out of nowhere. I have never and will never do anything outside of my marriage as the guilt that I live with is so heavy. As a very out transsexual woman, I just want to assure everyone here that these fears you have are far more damaging to you than dealing with the consequences of your dirty little secret getting out. Living authentically and honestly, being truly known by others, is an amazing experience. I believe in aliens, like, to an insane degree. I used to attempt to summon them in an effort to be abducted. I've spent countless hours and night upon sleepless night looking up abduction videos and the like online. Every time I think about aliens I get this adrenaline rush and feel so alive with the thought of hyper-intelligent, spiritually advanced, telepathically inclined beings. I dream of being abducted, or to at least come into contact with extraterrestrials. I guess this wouldn't necessarily destroy my life, per se, but my family is extremely religious and anything of this nature is a big no-no to them. Plus if anyone realized how much time and energy I've invested into this I'm pretty sure they would think I'm a nut job and stop being friends with me. Not a throwaway, but I don't think anyone knows my username. I failed out of college after 2 years because I was lazy and I was drunk all the time. I then joined the Air Force and was kicked out because of a heart disease I didn't know about. I think about killing myself at least once a week. My fiancée of 4 years broke up with me and I was so apathetic it didn't bother me. I just calmly collected my stuff and moved out. I can't sleep for more than 3 hours a day anymore. I'm not sure if I'm depressed or not. I just get up and go to work, then come home. I don't drink anymore, but I smoke almost a pack a day. I just turned 22, and according to a few doctors I'll be lucky to see 30. 40 will be a miracle not explainable by science. I'm going back to college in the fall so at least before I go my family won't think I'm a total failure. Writing this actually made me cry. This is the first emotion I've had in almost a year. Thank you Reddit, for letting me know I can still feel something. Reddit, no one knows about my heart besides my doctor. Thankfully I don't have to disclose my condition to my employer or family unless I deem it necessary or I want to. Edit 2. This got a little bigger than I thought it would. To answer some questions that keep coming up. My heart continues to grow. It may never stop growing. This causes extra stress, like bruising and swelling. I work out at a gym 4-5 days a week, and I run 2 miles a day. My best option is to condition my body to be in the best shape it possibly can. This will lead to a slower resting and active heart rate. I do smoke, and I know what it will do to me. For now it's my crutch. First step to fixing a problem is admitting you have one, right? Also I may think about killing myself, but that is a momentary feeling. Not because I am sad, but because I wonder if it would make things easier on the people in my life. I have plans and goals, but some things I have to let go of because time. I live my life as if I will live to be 100. I don't focus on the timeline I was given because there is no point in self-pity. A year ago I slept with Miley Cyrus. I got married 3 years ago and I have 2 kids with my wife. I live in Vegas and I met her at a club. She was OFC a VIP but my best friend from high school got a management gig at the club through my dad and worked his way up. He introduced me and during the course of the night we hung out off and on. She invited me to a hotel room party that I took her up on. We smoked weed, did some molly, and of course got morid-faced which led to us sleeping together. If my wife found out she'd divorce me and keep me from my newborn and almost 2-year-old sons. Well I'm late to this party but here goes anyway. I've been ducking my boss's wife for 4.5 years. We've never been caught by anyone and I don't even think anyone suspects anything. They have a dead bedroom or at least that's what she's always told me. I believe her. They never go away on anniversary weekends or even do any date nights. She says that most nights he'll fall asleep way earlier than her and she'll sleep in a different room. That's comforting to me because I love her. It all started about 3 months after she got hired to work in the office at the warehouse we work. He is the warehouse manager and I am the second shift supervisor. Our plant runs 24 hours aka 3 shifts. She works in the sales office. I was working in the office and trained her to take my position as I was moving on to be the plant supervisor. She started hitting on me right out of the gates, but I didn't think it was anything more than a flirtatious personality. She was out of my league from my perspective, not to mention married to the guy who was about to be my direct boss. But after a few months she was straightforward about pretty much telling me all the things she wanted to do to me and let me do to her. For a while I was strictly no. I don't get involved with married women. If you're unhappy in your marriage, deal with that. But they have 2 kids and she wanted to keep the family together. He's a good father and they live a pretty comfortable life. Slowly she wore me down. I live about 3 miles from the plant. She comes over at minimum 3 days a week on her lunch. We usually see each other both Saturday and Sunday too, though not always. We are friends on Facebook but never like each other's stuff or send messages. When I see new family pics of them together I burn with rage. When we do company stuff or have cookouts and she stands near him or sits with him and he touches her, it's all I can do to contain the seething anger. I usually overcome it by rationalizing to myself that I'm actually the monster in this situation. Then I get angry at myself and can get over it quicker because eventually I redirect that anger towards her too. She knows I'm angry too and the next day she'll come over and make it up to me. 6 months ago his boss, who is a regional director about 5 hours away, puts in his retirement. He will be retiring in 3 months. My boss is definitely getting his spot. Their house is going up for sale soon and they'll be moving. I am the one poised to take his position here at this plant. If we were to have ever been caught or were to get caught now, I'm sure I would be forced to resign and the fallout would be ruinous for all parties. She's going with him. I can rationally say that we'll all be better off. But I truly love her and would do damn near anything to have this play out in my favor. In the end though, it may already have ruined me. When I sit alone and think about it, I absolutely hate myself for all of this and have for a long time. Lying and cheating is not a part of my DNA. That I've been able to keep it up for so long makes me feel evil. In a lot of ways I hope I never forgive myself so that I'm the only person that ever gets hurt by me. I can't wait till she's gone but would give anything for her to stay. I never want to see her again. She'll be here in about an hour. This might not ruin my life but it could ruin someone else's. Well, here it goes. I was in an abusive relationship with my girlfriend when I was in high school. Everybody just thinks we were a bad couple, but it was far worse. It started off with little stuff like when someone made a joke about me she would laugh and it was no big deal, but pretty soon she found out that she could torment me as a way to make people laugh and like her. We were both semi-unpopular, and it just kept escalating to the point that at lunch I would just sit there with my head down on the table while she and her friends mocked me. She broke up with me a few times but I always took her back. Then came the first time that I tried to break up with her. She laughed and asked me why, and when I couldn't look her in the eye she hit me and told me to talk to her. I told her I didn't mean it and we just kept going on. Every once in a while, maybe once or twice a month, I would start to work up the balls to end it and she would hit me and ask where I would go and tell me that she was the hottest girl I could ever get. One time I told her we were done and she started shaking and crying, so I tried to give her a hug and she stabbed me in the arm with a pair of scissors and wouldn't stop crying and threatening me and herself until I agreed to wait. Eventually I hit puberty late in my junior year and became tall and strong enough to hold her down and stop her from hitting me. This really helped me mentally get out from under her thumb and I finally broke it off. We didn't talk and now I'm in college and life is grand, but I always wonder if my view of women was messed up by this. TLDR. Girlfriend tormented me to get popular. Started physical abuse to control me and only stopped when I got strong enough to hold her down. I also just wanted to say that typing this all out was way more relieving than I could have imagined. Just putting this out there really took a weight off my chest. Thank you to anyone who took the time to read this. I'm asexual and married to a man who definitely isn't asexual. My husband knows, obviously, because we've been together for years and haven't had sex yet, but no one else knows. They don't know that we're in an open relationship and he has sex with other women because that's the one thing I can never give him. And no, I don't mind that he has sex with other people. It was my idea and we have strict rules about it that he's always followed and we're very secure in our relationship. This secret wouldn't exactly destroy my life, but it would absolutely change the way everyone saw us. I almost had an affair. I have no idea why. I absolutely love my husband and would absolutely hate myself if I had gone through with it. If I ever told him, I think it would destroy him.